Welcome to the Better Life Podcast. I'm April. Hope you're having a great day so far. If it's your first time watching the Better Life Podcast, welcome. So glad you're here. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I would love for you to do that today. And, if it's your first time and you wonder what we're all about, we're about making our life better every single day, taking on a better attitude, better thoughts, not reacting, but responding. However we can improve, that's what we're about here on the Better Life Podcast. If you like what you see, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and every single week you'll get a brand new episode, at least one a week. We're adding some more things, so I think you'll enjoy that if you're watching on YouTube right now. Hey, and tell me what you think about these episodes. If there's some subjects that you'd like me to talk on, I would love to get your input. If you're enjoying these podcasts, I would love to hear from you. And thank you for those of you who have already commented, who have given me a good rating. Thank you so much for that. It means the world. A quick note, on March the 3rd, 2023, we are having our Better Life Night in Arlington, Texas. It's a night just that I think you will so enjoy. We have worship, we have fun, we have message. My mom and sister are going to be there again. We're going to do a House of Hope that night. There's going to be so much more. I can't even tell you how much that we have in store. If you haven't subscribed to my email, you can do that. We'll give you a link below. You can sign up for that, and we'll send you info on everything about Better Life Night, about things happening, and I think you'll enjoy it. Plus, I send an encouraging email every single week. So let's get into this week's episode. And I'm talking this week on something that I've talked about quite a bit on this podcast, but I think it's so important. And it's about our thinking, what we allow into our lives, what we allow into our minds. So if you can realize the process, what's in our mind always drops down into our heart. What's in our heart, the scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. It's always going to come out of our mouth. Everything begins and ends in our mind. What we give power to is eventually going to have power over us. The scripture says in Proverbs 23, be careful what you think because your thoughts run your life. That's why I do so many episodes on thoughts. Our thoughts run our lives. Every thought we have is either setting us up for failure or setting us up to succeed. It's driving us toward our future, or it's catapulting us back into our past. Thoughts shape our day. They determine the atmosphere around us. Y'all, thoughts are powerful. I've realized, or I've figured out, there's so many thoughts, but I want to share 5 different thoughts that could just be keeping you a little bit captive, keeping you from being all that God has called you to be. Let me go over these and see if you can identify with any of these thoughts. And then I'm going to give you some ways to take control of those and get your life back, get your life on track, and to kind of just reassess the way that you're thinking, reassess what you're allowing into your life. The first category is this: limiting thoughts. Now, what do I mean by that? Limiting yourself. I think I can do more, but I'm just not sure. Kind of living life on autopilot, not being open to change, maybe being stuck in old ways and old habits, limiting yourself and not allowing room for growth. Or maybe I could say it best like this: getting comfortable where you are. Limiting thoughts can keep us stuck in a time period. It can keep us stuck in a situation. I always say this: don't stay physically where you left mentally and emotionally a long time ago. Sometimes we limit ourselves to a period of time, to something that went on in our life, and we have not allowed ourselves to grow beyond that point. We also get limiting thoughts from people who kind of want to speak over your life and just tell you where you should be, what you should be doing. I would just encourage you to not allow someone to speak something over your life that is contrary to who God says you are. You have to remember that God approved of you before anyone had the chance to disapprove of you. And you aren't living your life to the full if you always care about what other people think. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Don't get stuck in that area of limiting thoughts. Another category is this: emotional thoughts. Oh, now, what do I mean by that? Reacting because you maybe have some unforgiveness in your heart, reacting because you're offended at someone. See, people's actions can only make you upset if you choose to react to them. They are powerless without your reaction. Your reaction, if it's negative, is going to keep everything in the negative. What we have to do is step back and respond, let our mind get clear instead of acting emotionally out of hurt, out of bitterness, out of unforgiveness, or out of offense. We have to step back and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to fall in that. I'm not going to let these thoughts rule my life. Negative thoughts will never lead to a positive life. Y'all, that's so simple, but it's so true. In the same regard, discouraging thoughts will never lead to a joyful life. The old saying, never trust your tongue when your heart is bitter, is so true. Don't fall into the trap of ruling your life or running your life by what's emotionally hurt you or kept you back. Another category is backward thoughts, living in the past, repeating past behaviors, past cycles. No, we have to think for today. We have to think for the future. The past can't be changed. It's time to let go, move on. A great future doesn't require a great past. I'm so thankful for that. Listen, y'all, don't ruin today by thinking about a bad yesterday. The scripture says in Isaiah, "Behold, I'm doing a new thing." Stop cheating on your future with your past. No more backward thinking. Here's another category: self-sabotaging thoughts. What do I mean by that? Beating yourself up, focusing on your flaws, your inabilities, your lack, your mess-ups, focusing on everything you're not. Those self-condemning thoughts will never cause you to rise to your fullest potential. See, it's not who you are that holds you back, but who you think you're not. That's what holds you back. You can't expect others to believe in you if you don't believe in you. Don't let your thoughts bully you and talk you into everything that God says that you're not. No, stop the voice of your inner critic. And by all means, don't believe everything you think if those things are not positive, if they aren't causing you to move forward. Next category, fearful thoughts. Fear of making mistakes, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of starting something new. Nothing can hold you back like your own mind. Here's a fact: fear, it's not from God. The scripture says in 2 Timothy that God hasn't given me the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. One translation says a calm and well-balanced mind. God doesn't want you to live your life based on anxiety and fear that you have, those thoughts that are tormenting you. We've got to let go of those fearful thoughts. So let me give you some steps to better thinking. Number 1, take control of your thoughts before your thoughts take control of you. In other words, as soon as you start thinking negative thoughts, say, no, I'm not going there. I'm taking control of my thoughts. Number 2, avoid things, people, or situations that will cause you to get in a negative state of mind. Don't tolerate being around negativity. Don't tolerate being around people who are bringing you down. Don't tolerate being around people who are telling you who you aren't instead of who God says that you are. Number 3, guard your mind. Y'all, this is so important. Don't allow garbage to come into your mind. Don't allow anyone to run through your mind with thoughts that aren't good and aren't pleasant and aren't uplifting. No, take control of your thoughts. Number 4, choose your thoughts wisely. These are so simple. Choose thoughts that will make your day better. See, it's not that you're not going to have negative thoughts, but you're choosing to not allow those negative thoughts to take residence in your mind. You got to get your thoughts working for you and not against you. You can't control how others think, but you can control how you think. You know, whatever you water is naturally what's going to grow. If you're watering those negative thoughts, you're going to have more negativity in your life. If you water fearful thoughts, you're going to have more fear in your life. If you water self-condemning thoughts, that's what's going to grow in your life. You've got to watch what you're thinking. And watch what your thoughts are when you're all alone. You know, that's when the enemy wants to come in, when you're alone, when it's at night. You've got to watch those thoughts. Your thoughts affect your mood. Your thoughts affect your productivity. Your thoughts will affect and impact your relationships. Norman Vincent Peale said, change your thoughts and you can change your world. The quality of your thoughts determine what kind of day you're going to have. Let me tell you something. When your thoughts get positive, your life is going to get positive. When your thoughts get healthy, your life gets healthy. When your thoughts get encouraging, your life becomes better. Let's make this year, whenever you're listening to, make this year, the next 12 months, be the best year ever. The year that you say, I'm going to control these thoughts. I'm not going to let my thoughts control me. Ask God to help you. The scripture says in Romans, let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Ask God to help you change the way you think. Be willing to get out of those old patterns of thinking that are holding you back and keeping you from all that you are supposed to be, all that God has called you to be. Break the pattern of unhealthy thinking. Do it for you. Do it for your kids. Break it today. And remember this, you got to choose your thoughts wisely because today and your future depend on it. If you realize just how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought again. Let's make this year great. Let's choose to take control of our thoughts and not let our thoughts take control of us. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Until the next time, I hope you have an amazing day.